Hi all. Today we're going to talk about an ad promo submissions in pharma regulatory affairs. So first of all, what are these ad promo submission? We'll understand this. So as per the definition, this advertising and promotional, that is the ad promo, that is abbreviated as an ad promo. Advertising and promotional submission, they are refers to as a process by which the pharmaceutical companies submit the promotional material for the prescription drug to the regulatory authority for the review and compliance. So in US, it's legal to advertise this promotional to promote the drugs, but for that we need to seek an permission from the USFDA. Uh, and it's not like we have to submit it the as an pre-approval submission or something like that. We can simply submit the our promotional material for the evaluation at the time of dissemination, at the time of release into the public. So what are the objective of this ad promo submission? The first one is to ensure that the communication is truthful, balanced, and non-misleading. Sometimes what happens, some companies overclaim about their advantages of drugs or the device. That should not happen. Whatever the information that is mentioned inside the your ad promo material, that should be truthful. That should be like supported by the valid data, clinical studies. So that is very important. The first thing is to ensure the communication is truthful. Second one is a balance. Balance means there should the company should not only focus on the advantages or the what we call the uses of the drug along with the advantages and features. The company should also focus on the what are the risks associated with that product, or we can say the adverse drug reaction which are associated with that product. So there should must be and balance between your what we call the advantages or the applications and the risk application and risk. This balance is very necessary. And this very like commonly observed practice that companies only focus on the application part and they neglect the risk part. That's why they receive and warning later. This is a very like usual practice that is observed. So that's why it should be an truthful as well as balanced. And the last one, it should not be an misleading. Whatever the truthful information supported by data, that only should be presented into your promotional material. So these are the three things that we need to consider. First one is truthful, second one is the balance, and third one is the non-misleading. Moving on to the next objective, that's the to protect the patient safety and public health. This is also an important from the public health perspective, and that is ensured through the ad promo submission. They ensure like whatever the information is going to the public, it is truthful, balanced, and non-misleading. Moving on to the regulatory authority and frameworks. What are the key authority? The obviously for the US, it's managed by the USFDA, and there is one specialized division which is called as OPDP, Office of Prescription Drug and Promotion. This manages all this promotional material. Uh, what role OPDP plays? The first one, it reviews the promotional material, then it monitor the compliance, and it issues the warning later in case they violate any rules or guidelines. Then also it ensure the enforcement action. Moving on to the legal basis, Federal Food, Drug and Cosmetic Act is FDC, then 24 CFR 2021 Prescription Drug Advertising Regulation. Then next question is what falls under the ad promo? First, we'll see what are the types of promotional material. Like there are the print material, which includes the brochures, then journal ads. We also have detailed aids. And second thing, like we have broadcast media, like TV ads or the radio ads. It's observed that for the TV ads, we have to take the pre-approval. So this is the only type of promotional material. For that, it's advisable to take the pre-approval. Other than that, for the brochure, journal ads, or the detail aid, website, social media, emails, visual aids, for all of these, you could just go with submission at the time of dissemination date. You don't need to submit prior to the dissemination. You don't need to seek the permission before. Then in digital media, obviously we have websites, social media, emails. In sales side, we have visual aids before the sales represented, used by sell represented. Then we'll see what is the difference between promotional labeling and advertising. The promotional labeling may include the brochures, detail aids, and a company's product. While in advertising, we have TV, radio, print ads, and even your public communication. Then for the ad promo submission, we have one specialized form that is the form 2253. There is one another form which is form 2252, and this form is used for the annual report, while your 2253 is used for the promotional ad promo submissions. Ad promo submissions. So this is a core requirement for all the ad promo submission. You need to have form 2253. This is the official form which you use to submit the promotional material. And when we need to submit, as I discussed earlier, it's we have to submit it at the time of dissemination, means at the time of public release, and not require any pre-approval. Only in case of TV ads or any commercial ads, you could go with the pre-approval. Otherwise, you could simply submit at the time of dissemination. Then what is submitted in this ad promo submission? First thing, obviously, we have Form 2253. Then we have our final promotional material, annotated references with supporting claims and prescribing information. PI, MedGuide, these are also we can submit. MedGuide. Then what are the types of ad promo submission? The first one is the post-marketing submission. These are the most common and these are submitted at time of first use, included form 2253. Then we have some of the advisory submission. These are voluntary. If you want to seek any advice from the FDA on your promotional material, you could go with this advisory submission. These are submitted before, obviously, and for the FDA feedback on the risk, high risk material and new claims. Then third one, we have launch materials for the newly approved product and high regulatory scrutiny. Uh, so for the new product, they could go with the launch material. Moving on to the key compliance principles, this is very important. So as I discussed earlier, there are three things which we have to focus on. First one is the information, whatever you are mentioning into the promotional material, it should be truthful and non-misleading. So your claims must be accurate and supported by the data. Then in fair balance, we could say there is equal prominence to the benefits and risk. So you could not just mention all the benefits of your drug. You also have to focus on the what are the risk or the adverse event which may occur by using that drug. So there should be a fair balance. And common mistakes are like companies only highlight the benefits and minimizing the risk. So that should not happen into your promotional material. There should be a fair balance. Then substantiation of the claims, like Claims must be supported by the clinical studies and approved label. Then the last one, we have consistency with prescribing information, like no off-label promotions, and it must be aligned with the approved indication and the safety profile. Common violations like the OPDP warning letters. Regulators like the USFDA frequently cite the misleading efficacy claims, omission of risk information, overstating the benefits, minimizing risk, and off-label promotion. Then moving on to the roles of the regulatory affairs in ad promo submission. So key responsibilities is to review the promotional material, ensure the compliance with regulators, cross-functional collaborations like marketing, medical affairs, and legal, and review checklist will include your claim supported, risk adequately presented, PI consistent, and off-label content. Then last we have life cycle of ad promo submission. First one we have to create them, draft, then there will be a medical review, then regulatory review, then legal approval, and then the finalization will take place and submission via 2 to 5 to form. And lastly, once it will get submitted to USFDA, and if they have not come up any with any warning letters, or even we can disseminate, and even after that they haven't come up with any warning letters, then we could continue distributing that promotional material into the public. So that is all about the ad promo submission. Thank you.